So basically on Monday, we had discussed the important questions that could have been asked on Unit 1. Okay. So I have not shared that recording as yet, but I will share the recording. Okay. And yesterday I had posted a video on mobile internet protocol. I hope all of you have watched it, and we'll just go through the contents of the video now shortly, and then we'll start with, maybe if we have time, we'll start with a new topic. Okay, so I think we'll start now. So basically we are starting with unit 2 now. Okay, so in unit 2, the first half of your unit 2 deals with the mobile internet protocol. So basically, like the IP protocol is part of your network layer. Okay, so the main function of your IP protocol, what is the main function? Can you all tell me? Can you all type or unmute yourself and tell me what is the main function of your IP protocol? Yes, it is routing the packet. Okay, so routing the packets between the source and the destination. So mostly we are interested in routing the packets as long as there's a internet connection. Okay, and the routing is done based on the IP address. There are different methods for all of this, but we are not interested in those different methods as of now. Okay, so we are just interested in what the IP protocol is, whether the IP protocol that is used currently for the fixed networks, your wired networks, whether that same protocol can be used for our wireless or the mobile networks. Okay, we are interested in knowing that before we start with this, before we go into the depth of this topic. Okay, so basically right now I'll explain you how the IP works uh, for the wired networks. Then we will see the same working, whether it can be applied to a wireless network, and if it can or it cannot be, then we will see, and if it cannot be, then why it cannot be applied. Okay, so let's go through all of this one by one. Okay, so like your mobile computing means connecting to the network anywhere at any time. So you should be able to connect and send your data from any place at anywhere. Okay, and to anyone. So that is the whole basic idea behind which your mobile computing or mobile network is built upon. Okay, so in that, IP plays an important role in routing the packets from the source to the destination. Okay, so you could be in any part of the world, your data has to travel from the source to the destination. Okay, so first of all, we'll study how this happens in a fixed network. Okay, remember, every time I say fixed network, it is meaning is the wired network. Okay, the wired network means your LAN network. So I'll just draw one basic diagram here to see how your fixed network. So suppose there's a source. Okay, this is suppose your source system, and there's a destination system. So this is your receiver. They both are connected through the internet. So there's some routers, many routers will be there. They're connected through the internet. Okay, so this receiver is in some LAN. Okay, it's connected. There are many more systems. I just drawn one system. Okay, and it will have obviously some IP address. Each LAN is having some IP address, and all the systems connected to that have the same IP address. Okay, similar except that the last number changes. Okay, so say this one is having the IP address of 192.1.1.10. Okay, the receiver. So I'll just write it here. So now we are looking basically at how the IP will be helping you to route the packet. Okay, we are not looking at the underlying algorithms, we're just looking at the basic idea. So when the sender has some data to send, okay, all it needs to do in a fixed network is put the receiver's address in the packet, put the receiver's address in the packet. So the receiver's address is nothing but the IP address. We will put in this example, the IP address is 192.1.1.10 and send the packet over the internet to the receiver. Okay. So no matter how many packets it has to send, it will always use that same IP address. So as long as it puts the correct IP address into the packet will always get delivered to the receiver, okay, over the internet. So the only time the IP address of the receiver will change is, can you tell me when the IP address of the receiver could change? This IP address will remain fixed always, except at it could change at one time. When is that case or scenario possible? In a LAN, when can the IP address of a system change? Can someone tell me? Yesterday we had discussed it in the video. Suppose your system is connected to a LAN. So when can the IP address of your system change? Yes, correct. When you move the system to another LAN, okay, the other LAN will obviously have a different starting IP address. Okay, so just like suppose you're residing in Goa, you'll put the state as Goa for your postal address. But if you move to Maharashtra to work in Bombay, then you will put the state as Maharashtra. You cannot keep putting the state as Goa if you're working in Mumbai. So the same way, when your system shifts to a different LAN, the address, the IP address will obviously change. So suppose this receiver is removed from this LAN and is shifted to another LAN. Okay, this is LAN 2 now. So then the IP address here will be different. So just for example, say it is 200.5 dot something. Okay, so this is the address. So henceforth, the same system will have a different IP address. The sender is now sending data and he continues to put 192.1.1.10. The data obviously will not be received here because there's no system present at this IP address, or a different system may be present at that IP address. Okay, so if it wants to send to this system, the original receiver, which is now connected to a different LAN, then it has to use this IP address 200.5.1.1. So this is how your IP works in a fixed network. Okay, in a fixed network, your IP protocol works this way in routing. As long as it knows the IP address of the receiver, data can be delivered. Okay, the only time the internet IP address could change of the receiver in a fixed network is if you remove the system physically from one LAN and shift it to another LAN. Okay, that's the only time the IP address of a receiver could change in a fixed network. Please remember that. Okay, I hope you all are taking down some notes as I'm explaining all of this. So now let's see if you all have understood this, how your IP protocol is working in a fixed network. Let's see how it will work in a wireless network, whether the same mechanism will work for us in a wireless network. So before I continue, do you all have any doubts about this working of IP in fixed network? See, yesterday's video I've explained it in detail, so right now I'm not going too much into the detail, but if anyone wants any clarification, you can ask. Okay, so let's discuss. I think you're fine with this. So let's continue. Now let's see whether the same IP mechanism that works for your fixed networks we can use for the wireless or your mobile network. Okay, so again in your wireless network you will have again a sender. Okay, the sender may be a mobile or it may be a fixed system. It's connected to the internet. This is the internet, and there will be a portable device. Okay, it could be a mobile, it could be a laptop, it could be a tablet, a portable device which is connected through Wi-Fi, or it is connected to a wireless network or a mobile network. Okay, through that it is connected to the internet. Okay, so that is the receiver, and it is in some area right now. Okay, so it is in some area right now, some network. Okay, and this network is connected to the internet. The sender is connected to the internet. So in this network it is having again some IP address. So for example, let's take the same IP address 192.1.1.10. Okay, now your sender is sending data to the receiver. Okay, so again it will, to send the data it needs to know the IP address of the receiver. So it puts the IP address of the receiver in the data packet as 192.1.1.10 and sends this packet over the internet to the receiver. Okay, so in this case we'll assume your receiver is a mobile. So as long as this mobile remains within that network, okay, we will kind of have the same IP address. Okay, so your data always which is being sent by the sender will be continued to be received by the mobile in that network. Okay, but as you know, the meaning of a mobile means it can move anywhere. It need not be fixed, it need not be stationary. So if you move to another network or to another region, okay, so suppose the receiver which is the mobile moves to another network, as is the case of always a mobile, it is not fixed. Okay, you keep moving around with a mobile, so the IP address of this mobile will change. When the IP address of this mobile is changing, okay, now the data which is being sent by the receiver needs to be delivered at this address, the new IP address, since the mobile is now in a new network. Okay, but what will happen in case the sender, your IP protocol, the current IP protocol does not work that way. Okay, so it knows only the original IP address of your receiver, which was 192.1.10. It will continue sending your data to this address, thinking that the receiver is present here. Okay, and the data will be lost. So although the mobile has shifted now to a new location, okay, the receiver has gone to a new location, your sender is not aware of the new IP address. Okay, since it's not aware of the new IP address, it was sending some data, it was in the middle of sending some data, a lot of data. Suppose, you know, a mobile can keep moving around at any time, it did not have some fixed time of movement. So suppose there were some 10 packets that were being sent by the sender, and say after the 5th packet the mobile goes to another network. Okay, so the IP address has changed. So the 6th packet onwards that was being sent to this address will be lost. It will be not be delivered correctly because the mobile is no longer present at this address, but it has gone over to another network. Are you getting it? That is where your IP protocol that works so well for your fixed network fails in a wireless network. Okay, I'll just repeat how it fails. So just like your fixed network, originally your receiver is having some IP address. Okay. In this case, the receiver we are assuming is a mobile. So say the sender had say 10 packets to send. So it puts in all the 10 packets the IP addresses 192.1.1.10 and sends them according to whatever algorithm it is using. Okay. Say the first 5 packets get delivered correctly because the mobile is still in this network, the first network. Okay. So all the packets that are addressed are delivered correctly to this IP address. But just before the 6th packet or after the 5th packet has been delivered, assume the receiver or the mobile moves to another network. Okay. Since it moves to another network, while the data transmission was already happening, what happens? The receiver gets a new IP address since it's gone to a new network. But the sender does not know that the receiver has moved. Okay. So your 6th packet also is being sent to 192.1.1.10. The 6th packet is lost. Similarly, the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th packets also will be lost. They all are being addressed to this address, the original address. So that is how, due to the mobility, okay, because the mobile is not fixed, is not having a fixed IP address, due to the mobility of that mobile device, data could be lost if you use the original idea of the IP protocol. Got it? Have I made myself clear? So if you use that IP protocol without modifying, okay, the same IP protocol that we use for fixed networks, if we use it for our mobile networks without making some changes to it, then it won't work for us. Okay, it will result in us losing connectivity, maybe as we switch between networks, or losing data as we switch between networks. Okay, so that is the reason why we need to modify the IP protocol that we had studied for fixed networks in order to make it work for our mobile networks. Am I clear? So uh, uh, no, Yash, we cannot maintain that way. We are using a different mechanism to maintain the sessions. Okay, so we'll learn this in the next part, how we maintain the connection. Okay, when the mobiles are shifting locations. Yeah, Pranav, I'll explain. Yash and Pranav, I'll explain this part. Okay, how when the new IP address is obtained, how the connection is still maintained. Like, you know, we are already using our mobiles, and you know that when we send the data, I'm sending the data now, and if you're, even if now you're listening on your mobile, you keep switching your places. Say you're going from Marga, let's assume that you're switching your network so fast that you will still be able to hear me. No, you will not, won't happen that you'll get disconnected and then you won't be able to hear me. You still get my data, means you get my voice. Okay, so we know that it is functioning fine now. IP is functioning fine. I'll explain you how this works, how this that is the whole idea behind mobile IP. Okay, mobile IP means it helps you to get connected to the network as even if you keep, you're on the move. Okay, your packets are delivered correctly. You'll see that how it works. So right now, have you all understood how, what is the reason why we need to have a new IP or modify the IP? Why the fixed network IP protocol cannot be used as it is? Is it clear, everyone? This is a very important question for your exams. Okay, they can ask you this question: why you can't use this IP that we use for the fixed networks for mobile networks? Then you have to be able to explain this with the help of an example like this, the way I told you. You can write in your own words. Yeah, Gaurang and all. Once I explain you this concept, how we do this mobile IP, then you all can ask me these questions if you still have doubts. Okay. So right now I don't want to answer these questions without explaining the concept of how mobile IP works. Okay, because the others may get confused. So any doubts about how the working of IP about in fixed networks and why it needs to be changed in mobile? Okay. If you all have any questions about that, you type. Other, let's continue. So basically, then they mentioned about why we need to do mobile IP. So I told you the reason why we need a modified IP. So mobile IP was proposed by this task force, Internet Engineering Task Force. Okay, and the basic idea of the mobile IP is to stay connected with the network while on the move. Okay, so you are staying connected with the network while on the move without changing the IP address. Okay, so like you all were having this doubt, so we'll see how this happens. Actually, I'll explain how this happens. Okay, this is one whole question for you on the working of mobile IP. One 8-mark question will come for you. There's one diagram, very important question. I'll explain in today's lecture itself how this happens. Okay, how you can keep the same IP address on your mobile even if you're on the move and stay connected. Okay, so again, mobile IP is just your like your IP is just an extension, small modification of your IP. Okay, and it allows you to stay connected irrespective of your physical location. You can move, you can keep moving, you can move between states, geographic locations, go international, you still be connected to the internet. You won't lose your data. So all that is because of mobile IP. It allows you to keep changing your locations but still receive your data. So next, then they discussed in your textbook why we need to have a new internet protocol version. Okay, right now you must be knowing, you have studied in computer networks that we use internet protocol version 4. Okay, and they have developed one new version called as version 6. Okay, so basically in your textbook they have discussed why we need IPv6. Okay, so what they say is your IPv4. Okay, basically the main reason of IPv4 the shortcoming is it was not designed taking into consideration that so many users will be using the internet. Okay, so as so many users are using the internet, the number of IP addresses needed and all will be lots. So they did not imagine the growth of the internet that it will be so much. When they designed it, they thought that that number of IP addresses that would be generated here in IP version 4 would be sufficient for the number of internet users. But over a period of time, we know that that is not the case. Almost every person on earth nowadays has internet connection. So that many number of IP addresses and all internet users, uh, IP version 4 was not designed to handle so many users. Okay, and the second main reason was it treats all the applications equally. So by equally meaning, you know that video streaming application has a more requirement of like you want to watch the video without delay or something like that. Those characteristics are needed in your video app. So your IP version 4 should support that feature, like should stream your video without delay. So for example, some applications can tolerate delay, some applications cannot tolerate delay. Okay, so your IP version 4 is not able to distinguish between such things. Okay, which applications need can be applied some delay in transmitting the packets, which applications have to be transmitted as fast as possible. So it's not able to distinguish between such simple things. Okay, so due to that they came up with this new version of internet protocol. Okay, so we don't need to learn too much in detail why IPv6 came about. Okay, that's a separate topic as such. We are interested in this as our main topic in this unit, and the start of our unit 2. What is the mobile internet protocol? Okay, and how it works. So I think I made myself clear right now what is the mobile internet protocol. And with respect to that, we are having some terms. Okay, so uh, these are the main terms, and as we are explaining, I'm explaining you that working of mobile IP. I will tell you all about these terms again. Okay, yesterday you have seen the video, then I had explained the terms. So I hope you all have noted down that. If not, then again I'll be explaining it while I explain you the working of the mobile IP. All these terms I will repeat again. Okay. So till here, whatever I showed you till here, any doubts? Or should we go over to the working of mobile IP? Till here is fine. I hope y'all are all sitting with a book and a pen and y'all are noting down. Please note down, okay? So here, this diagram will be the main diagram. A question could be asked, explain the mechanism of working mechanism of mobile IP, or explain the working of mobile IP, okay? Or explain the packet delivery from in a mobile IP. So all these kind of questions will be with respect to this diagram, okay? So this basically is the diagram which shows how your IP works or your mobile IP works, okay? So how your mobile can change networks and still have the same IP address. So this is the diagram that will explain you that, okay? So I'll just tell you all this. There are some terms here that you can see that you are coming across for the first time, okay? So I'll just briefly tell you what are these terms, then we'll see how this works, okay? So if you are not noted down in yesterday's video all these terms, you can just note down, okay? So basically here MN stands for mobile node. So mobile node is nothing but your handheld device. So it could be your cell phone, it could be your tablet, laptop, okay? Anything that is basically with, it's portable and it's able to connect to the network. Something like that is your, that is the meaning of MN, okay? Mobile node. Then you're having next term as home network. So originally, when you buy a mobile or something, you register it somewhere. No, you buy it, you connect it to the network. That's the network you're always connected to, basically. Okay, that original network, or from where it originally you buy the SIM card and all, that will be known as your home network. So basically, you get the IP address. Okay, so you will get some IP address and you will be connected to some network at the beginning. That network will be a home network, the everyday network you can say, okay? The network that you connect uh, from your locality, okay? Then there is something known as a home agent, okay? So it's basically a router and it contains the data of all the home network devices, okay? So it contains all the information about the devices connected in the home network, okay? So it will have a location directory of all the devices that permanently belong to this network, okay? Okay, so that is the home agent. So basically a home agent in short form many times in the diagrams, and we may write it as HA. Okay, capital HA or small HA, that will be your home agent. Similarly, your home network may be written as HN. Okay, some textbooks may have it like that. Then similarly to your home agent and the home network, you are having foreign network. Suppose you move out of your network and go to some other region. Okay, so that will be your foreign network, the network that is away from your home. That will be a foreign network. Okay. Similarly, for a foreign network, you are having a router known as a foreign agent. This foreign agent router will be containing a list or directory of all the devices in the foreign network. Okay, all your mobile devices in your foreign network. By mobile, I mean all devices that are able to roam with roaming capabilities. Okay, able to connect to the network and are roaming. Then you are having something known as a correspondent node, CN, correspondent node. So basically, there will be some device that is communicating with your mobile. That device will be known as a correspondent node. You can consider as a sender, if it's a sender, or it could be a receiver also, but a node that is communicating with your mobile device. That is your correspondent node. Okay. Then there's another term known as COA. So COA stands for care of address. Okay. So this care of address is basically in your foreign agent. Okay. It's part of your foreign agent, you can say. So it basically helps you to identify the mobile MN in the MN's current location. So the care of address helps to identify the MN's current location. Okay, so basically these are the terms that you need to know. There's some more things we'll see later. So any questions about this? Any term you want to be explained about? Okay, then we'll continue. So basically now I will explain you. You have to remember this, okay? The disadvantage of the fixed network as we are doing this. So like I told you in like I told you that in your mobile devices can keep moving around. Okay, so as they keep moving around, your data should get delivered correctly. Okay, so basically that is what happens here. Okay, so let's see how it happens. So your first step in your data, this packet delivery, what we are trying to do is deliver a packet from a CN, which is your correspondent node, to MN, which is your mobile node. Okay, so in the first case, we'll assume that the MN is present in your home network. Okay, just look at only this part of the diagram. Look only at this part of this diagram. Okay, don't look at the other part. Only look at this. There is a CN which is connected to the internet to a router. Okay, then your MN, which is present in the home network, is connected to the internet through the home agent. Home agent is again a router. Okay, look only this much portion of your diagram right now. So if CN wants to send some data to the MN, okay, if CN wants to send some data to the MN is currently in the home network. So what it will do is, in the packet, it will know the address of the MN, some IP address. Okay, the address of the MN. It will put the address of the MN. Okay, and send this packet along the router over the internet. along the router over the internet to the home agent. Okay, so the home agent will get this packet and it will check whether this MN, okay, this now home agent you can think as a security guard at your building. Okay, so a security guard, when some visitor comes to your building, the security guard checks, whether the sometimes the owner is present at the in the building or not. Okay, so like that, the home agent now will check whether the MN is present in the home network. Okay, if the MN is present in the home network, it will take this packet that was received through the internet sent by the CN and deliver this packet to the MN. Okay, I'll repeat again. First case we are looking that the MN is present in the home network. Okay, so if the CN wants to send some data to the MN, what it will do? It will put the IP address of the MN, whatever the MN's location, in the packet, and through the internet, it will send the packet to the home agent. Okay, the home agent looks at the receiver, that the receiver is the MN. Then it will see whether the MN is present in the home network. If it is present in the home network, it will deliver the packet to the MN. Okay, now if the MN wants to reply to that, it will make another packet. Okay, put the address of the CN, send the packet to the router, home agent will send the packet to the home agent. Home agent will send it to this router, and this router will deliver the packet to CN. So this is how the packet delivery works if the mobile network remains here. Mobile node remains in the home network. Okay, clear? So like I was telling you originally, let's take that. So let's say the MN's address here is say 192.1.10. Okay, here let's say, well, let's say it is like this. Okay, here. Will not take this, it will simply complicate. Okay, let's take another example. So have you all understood this part, how MN is working in the home network, if your MN is there, and how the packet delivery works in if your MN is part of the home network? Okay, I think this is okay with everyone. Okay, now the main thing of how mobile IP works. Okay, imagine that your MN has moved from the home network to some foreign location, foreign network. Okay, it has moved here. Okay, once it moves here, what it does, it informs the foreign agent, that it has come here. It registers with the foreign agent. Okay, in order to continue to receive the data, in order to continue to receive any data, it registers with the foreign agent for a new IP address, kind of, or it informs that it has entered this network. Okay, and it tells that if any packets are coming for it, they should get delivered. So basically they are informing the foreign agent that any packets that are coming for it should be delivered. So what a foreign agent does, it has something known as a care of address. Okay, so what, to understand this, what we'll do is, say your MN was here. Okay, so it is having some address here. Okay, it is having some address here, say X. So when the MN is moving here, okay, so it will get some new address here, okay, because it is in some new location, okay, some new address, okay. But your CN only knows this original address. This is the original address X. Your CN does not know the new address. So in order for this data that is being sent by CN to be continued to be received in a new location correctly, okay, MN informs the foreign agent that any packets that are coming for the address X should be sent to it. So for that purpose, your foreign agent establishes something known as a care of address. The care of address is basically what it does is, like in your, uh, say for example, you inform your post office, okay, that any letters that are coming for you, if you're staying in some area, say Goa, and you move to some address, say uh, Bombay, so you inform that any addresses that any letters that are coming for you, instead of going to Goa now, should be delivered to Bombay. Okay, so now what will happen is, here you're basically telling this will be a new address kind of, okay. This you will be telling whatever is coming to the original address, intercept them and send it to the new address. So this basically stands for that. So care of address will be identifying the mobile node's current location. So the current location is something else. It is not no longer X. Okay, but all packets that are mentioned to be delivered to X will be delivered to this care of address. Okay, because the mobile node will be informing both these routers, the foreign agent router and the home agent router, whatever are the packets destined for the original address should be delivered to this care of address, and through the care of address it will be delivered to the mobile node. So basically the care of address will be like a temporary point associated with the mobile node. Okay, so as long as the mobile node continues to be in the foreign network, the care of address will act like a temporary address for the mobile node. Okay, so basically what the MN will be doing, it will be informing the foreign agent that it has entered its network, obtain a new address, let's call it as Y, okay, and then once it obtains this Y, it will inform the home agent that any packets that are mentioned for X should be sent to Y. Okay, so any packets that are being sent to X, sent it to Y. Okay, are you getting it, what I'm trying to tell you? Let me repeat this again and then I will explain you how it works. So originally your MN was present here, was having address X. Okay, CN knows about that address X. So whenever it has a data to be sent, it puts the address X, sends it over the internet here. So as long as MN is present here, it works fine. Okay, but when MN moves over to a new location, and MN goes to a new location, okay, say it has come here. So what the MN does first is it registers with the foreign agent there or router there. It informs that router it has entered its network and obtains a new address. That new address says known as care of address. Okay, and this new address, let's call it as Y. Once it obtains this new address, it informs the home agent, its original agent, about this new address. Okay, and it tells Now if the CN is sending any packets for X, it will, CN does not know that MN has gone to a new location. Okay, CN still thinks that MN is present at X. So whenever CN is sending data, it's still sending data with the address X. CN does not know that MN has gone to a new network. Okay, so MN informs the home agent that now any packets are coming with address X. Instead of going here, because it is no longer there here, you send it to Y. Send the packets with address X instead of the location X, send it to Y. So Y is nothing but your care of address, and this care of address has been given by the foreign agent. So when the packets come at Y, the foreign agent knows that these Y packets are nothing but of this node. So it removes and it delivers these packets here. Okay, so this is the basic idea of your packet delivery in mobile networks. Is it clear? Is it clear how it's working? Yes, students, are you clear? Yeah, yeah, Prathamesh, I'll explain this. Okay, let me just tell this again. So, how IP address comes to that is, see, uh, let's take a IP address only now. Okay, so see, when MN is here, when MN is here, when MN is present here, now the once the IP address has been assigned, okay, once the IP address has been assigned, okay, we are not changing, the IP address remains fixed. A mobile device, once the IP address has been given, okay, the IP address remains. Imagine it, just for you to understand, I'm telling you, this IP address remains fixed. Okay, understand that way. Now this, remember, we are connecting to a Wi-Fi network. It's a wireless network. It's not a LAN network. Okay, it's not a LAN network. So when we were connecting to different LANs, the IP addresses were changing. Okay, now this is a wireless network. Say this IP address has been given. Okay, to understand this better, no, instead of taking this IP addresses, let's take some state. Okay, you will understand it better instead of taking numbers. Okay, understand this concept first, then we'll take numbers. Okay, let's say your MN was present here. It works the same with numbers. Then you can substitute this, what I'm writing, with any number IP address. Say your MN is in the home network, say Goa. Okay, say, just to understand. Now your CN is sending a packet. So all the time it will be putting the address as Goa and it will be sending. So it goes over the internet and through the home agent it gets delivered to the MN. Okay, say this is now a mobile device, right? It keeps moving. So when the mobile network moves from here, it moves from here, okay, and goes to some other location. Let's say this location now is, say, for you to understand, say it is, say, UK. Okay, now when the MN goes here, CN does not know that the mobile node has moved. Okay, CN does not know. CN still thinks that mobile node is present here. Okay. So what mobile node does, once it goes to a new network, it has to register itself. Okay. Otherwise it won't get any data. So it registers with the foreign agent. Okay. It registers with the foreign agent and obtains one temporary address in the new network. It obtains one temporary address in the new network. Okay. Once it obtains a temporary address, that temporary address is known as care of address. Okay. It obtains a temporary address known as the care of address. Now, clear? And this temporary address, say, let's call it as Y. Let's call it as Y. Its original address still remains. Okay. This original address, this remains with MN permanently. Okay. But it has obtained a temporary address. It obtains a temporary address. So, when it obtains this temporary address, it informs the home agent that it has obtained a temporary address. Okay. And that any packets that are coming for it should now get delivered to this address. Clear? Step. So what CN does is, it does not know about this temporary address. So any packets it wants to send to MN, it puts this address and sends the packet over the internet. So once it reaches the home agent here, okay, the home agent checks the packet. In the packet, it finds that this packet is for the MN. Okay, it checks whether the MN is present here in the home network. If it is present in the home network, it will be delivered to this address. Okay, but when it checks for the MN, it finds that MN is no longer present in the home network. Okay, it has moved to a foreign network. It has already been moved to a foreign network. So what it does, it adds a new header for this. It adds a new header for this original packet. Okay, and it puts the destination now as Y. Why it puts the destination as Y? Because the mobile node had informed it that any packets that are coming for it now should be delivered at the temporary address, the new temporary address. It puts a new header like this with the address Y, and it sends this packet now here. Sends this packet. Okay, this packet is sent there, here. When the care of address at this address it is received, the foreign agent checks this. Okay, it checks this, removes this outer cover, okay, checks that this address is mentioned for, this is the address for the MN, and delivers this packet to the MN. That is how it works. Getting it? So that is how basically your original address that was put remains. Okay, that kind of remains fixed. Are you clear? Any questions about it? Any working of it? So are you now clear how Pranav, Yash and Gaurang Shell were asking some questions? I will understood more or less how your questions are getting answered now, how your IP address is remaining fixed. So basically what happens is a technical term. Okay, I'll just tell you now those terms. What we are doing is, we are sending that packet. Say, let's take this case now where the MN has moved to a foreign network. Okay, so CN is taking one packet, putting the address of the MN, So it puts some address. Say original address of MN is X. Okay, and puts the packet, the address of the MN, sends it over the internet to the home agent. Okay, home agent checks whether the MN is present here at X. Okay, or let's say home agent checks whether MN is present in the home network. It finds that MN is not present here. Okay, so next step is it delivers the packet to the COA. So what it does, say the address of the COA is Y. It encapsulates, okay, the term for it is encapsulates the original packet. It takes the original packet, puts another header for it with the address as Y, and delivers this packet now to COA. Okay, what is the COA? COA is a temporary address obtained by the MN in the foreign network. So the foreign agent removes this additional header that was put by the home agent. Okay, sees that the packet is X, and we know this address X is registered with MN, and it delivers this packet to the MN. Getting it? So basically, like you can think of like this. Let's say you're having an office in, say, Bombay, okay, and you keep traveling across the world. Okay, every time you're traveling across the world, if your data keeps getting delivered to Bombay, you will not be able to access the data every time. Okay, so you tell someone in your office, imagine that this is your office, X stands for your Bombay office. Okay, so what you do, you tell someone in your office your current location. Say suppose you're gone to UK, you will tell if any packet comes for me, instead of keeping it with you, you sent it to me in UK. So that job is done by the home agent. So suppose you're having a secretary. Okay, let's take that example so that you're very clear. Say your this is your office in Bombay. Okay, Mumbai. Okay, imagine that this is your, just like your secretary. Okay, so any packets that are getting delivered to you in Bombay, if you are in Bombay, it will get delivered to you. Okay, but suppose you have gone to a different location, here. So what you do, you will obviously have some address here in the new location. Okay, so that address in the new location is known as care of address. Okay, so say this is your UK. So then what you do, you inform your secretary that any packets that are coming to you in Bombay, instead of getting delivered to in Bombay, because you're no longer there in Bombay, deliver them to UK. So what your secretary does, it does not tear up your original envelope. Your original envelope is coming with the address of Bombay. Okay, original data is coming with the address of Bombay. So what your secretary does, puts a new header, puts the address, your new address, temporary address. You're in UK, puts the new address. This process is known as encapsulation. Okay, puts this new address, new header, and sends it to your temporary address. So once this agent receives that packet, he decapsulates the, he removes this extra header that was put. He removes this extra header that was put and delivers this packet. Okay, who does this? The foreign agent, and delivers this packet, the original packet, to you. Am I clear now? What is happening? Now, everyone, working of IP. Yes, it tunnels, encapsulate. Correct. So basically this sending, you are adding an additional packet and sending it is known as tunneling. Okay. So basically you are sending the, whenever you do encapsulation, you are adding an additional header and sending it. Okay. So you are establishing a direct point tunnel between the home agent and the foreign agent. You are adding one more header and you are sending the packet across to the foreign agent. So that is known as tunneling. Encapsulation is done. So the foreign agent removes that additional header, decapsulates it, and forwards the decapsulated packet. Decapsulated packet is the original data packet. Okay, let me just complete this now and then I'll answer your questions. So basically once the MN receives the packet from CN, CN does not know that MN has gone to a new location. Okay, so CN still thinks that MN is present here in the home network. Okay, so like I had taken the previous example, say CN was thinking that MN is in Bombay, and CN continues to think that it is in Bombay and keeps sending the packets to through the home agent to Bombay. Okay, it does not know that MN has gone to a new location. So CN never is knowing the current location of the MN. Okay, it knows only the original location of the MN. It always sends packets to the original location. Okay, the encapsulation, okay, is done by the home agent. Home agent is aware of the current location of the MN. So depending on the current location, that temporary address is known as the care of address. So it puts to the original packet. This is, suppose this is the original packet which is received by the home agent. It adds one more packet header, encapsulates it, establishes a tunnel and sends it to the foreign agent. Okay. So basically in the foreign agent, it is received at this point at the care of address. Okay. So foreign agent removes the additional packet that was put, decapsulates it and delivers the original packet to the MN. So now the MN wants to reply to this. Okay. If the MN wants to reply to this, what will it do? It will add the address of the CN. It will make a new packet. Make a new packet. Put the address of the CN. Put the address of the CN. Give the packet to the foreign agent. The foreign agent will deliver through the internet to the router here, and the router will deliver the packet, this packet, to the CN. Okay, and this process will continue. If CN wants to continue to send data, CN will always send the data with this original address of the MN, whatever was the original address. The home agent will always, if the MN is not present here, the home agent will add one more packet, one more header, send this here. Foreign agent will remove this additional thing and deliver only the original packet here. And this process will keep continuing. Okay, I think I've repeated it so many times. I think you should have got it. Is it okay with everyone how this process is working? So this is how basically, although you may keep shifting your mobile device from one network to another, as long as you keep involved these two routers, the foreign agent router, the mobile node has to inform these two routers. One is the foreign agent router, one is the home agent router. It has to inform these two routers about its current location. Okay, so wherever it is currently present, to inform both these routers. As long as it informs both these routers, all the packets being sent by CN will be delivered correctly to it. MN does not have to inform this people, this CN or this router, where it is currently present. Okay, current location, it need not tell this correspondent node or this router. Only it needs to tell the HA and the FA. HA is the home agent and FA is the foreign agent. If it tells this true, it's enough. And it will continue to receive all the data correctly. And even it can communicate back with the node, whichever node was sending it data. So yes, Pranav, what you have written here is correct. When the MN goes back to its home network, it will be again identified by its original IP. Yes, you have understood correctly. All this is correct, what you have written here. So yeah, so any doubts about this, how it is? Okay, I think we have crossed the time, you all didn't tell me. So I think if it's okay with everyone, we'll stop. Okay, students, so I'll stop the recording and thank you for attending. If you have any, just for a reminder, your